Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, welcome back as we continue to showcase the CPRA meeting. And at that meeting, a big award was given out, given by a very important man and received by a very important man. Let's listen in.
Welcome, welcome everyone. What a great crowd. Thank y'all all for coming. I'm Gordon Dove, Chairman of the Coastal Protection Restoration Authority Board. And first thing, would you please silence all cell phones? And with that, we're going to call to order, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like it started by Mr. Sue with the Levee Board, who is a Korean War veteran. Mr. Sue, would you start us off? Everyone rise with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Sue Henry.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And with that, let's give a round of applause to Mr. Sue, a Korean War veteran who actually fought in the war. Thank you, Mr. Sue. God bless you. With that, the roll call.
Chairman Dove.
Present.
Mr. Davidson.
Present.
Mr. Garrett.
present.
Ms. Giacometto. Ms. Campo. Present. Lieutenant Governor Nungesser. Mr. Alford.
Here.
Ms. DeCastro. Present. Congressman Gao. Present. Mr. Jordan. Mr. Bourgeois.
Here.
Mr. Hidalgo. Here. Ms. Cormier. Mr. Carville.
Here.
Mr. Lane.
Here.
Representative Zarang.
Here.
Senator Hinskins. You have a quorum.
Okay, if we have a quorum. Approval of the agenda. We have a motion.
Motion right here.
Okay, motion, I'd like to, you can do the motion. Okay, approval of the agenda. Could we have a motion? We have a second. All in favor? All right, any opposed? None. That motion passes.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we deviate from the agenda to move item 9 up to this current spot in the agenda, if we will, please.
All in favor? That motion passes. Approval of the minutes?
No, sir, you need to go to number 9 now. Go to 9.
Oh, okay, excuse me. Okay, and we're going to move to number 9, presentation of the 2024 R. King Milling Distinguished Coastal Service Award. Mr. King Milling and his wife, thank y'all very much for coming. King, thank you for so much what you've done for the coast and Louisiana. God bless you and your family, and we're going to go ahead and read this off and present the King Milling Award. This is the second annual one. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Alford will read it off.
All right. Today, the Coastal Protection Restoration Authority Board, CPRA, presented the R. King Milling Distinguished Coastal Service Award to Reggie Dupre, Executive Director of the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District. The award was established in 2022 to honor individuals or organizations epitomizing Milling's unwavering support for the state's coastal program. Over a span of more than 2 decades, Milling became one of the earliest and most effective advocates for protecting Louisiana's coast. His efforts brought attention to coastal land loss issues and emphasized the urgent need to prioritize science and engineering in developing solutions. Reggie Dupre has been a lifelong steward for coastal protection and restoration, much like King Milling, said CPRA Chairman Gordy Dove. His commitment to Louisiana's coastal program and the people of South Louisiana is unmatched. The work Reggie has done in his decades of service will continue to positively impact the people of Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes for generations to come. I can think of no one more deserving of this honor than my dear friend and colleague, Reggie Dupre. Dupre spent over 21 years as an elected official in South Louisiana, serving as a member of the Terrebonne Parish Council from 1988 to 1996. The Louisiana House of Representatives District 53 from 1996 to 2001. And the Louisiana State Senator for District 20 from 2001 to 2009. While representing Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes in public service, Dupre elevated coastal and hurricane protection issues under 3 Louisiana governors. Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District President Tony Alford hired Dupre from his Senate seat to serve as the district's executive director in 2009. During his 15 years with Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District, Dupre has overseen over $1 billion of state and locally funded flood control improvements for the Terrebonne-Lafourche region. Dupre became the second recipient of the award given annually to an individual or organization selected by the CPRA board chairman from a list of nominees meeting the board's rigorous criteria. The inaugural award was presented last year to Mark Wingate, who served as Deputy District Engineer for Programs and Project Management for the U.S. Corps of Engineers, New Orleans District. Reggie Dupre.
We'll continue hearing from Mr. Reggie Dupre after a short break. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. And welcome back to Bayou Time as we continue to showcase the CPRA meeting where a big award was given out to Mr. Reggie Dupre. Let's continue as he talks to the CPRA on that great award.
If I may say a few words about this. First, we couldn't have picked a better person than you have today. He's done so much for all of us. And I should take a second step about this and say to all of you, delighted to be back into this community. I was here for a long time. Enjoyed the work very much. But what is most important right now is that it's how necessary it is that not just this parish and these parishes, but parishes throughout Louisiana, needs to start screaming. Because we've got some people in Baton Rouge that I don't think have a clue what this is about. And that's not good for us or good for anyone else. They need to understand it, and we need to be there. I hope I haven't overstepped myself.
Thank you. This is the plaque. Inside the CPRA, which you're the second one. You want to hold that to the camera? Go back this way. Yeah.
Let's suck it in. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say a few brief words. I came here today to make my last Morganza presentation and to donate y'all back an award, 2 awards that were given to me in 2009, 15 years ago, which at the beginning of the presentation we'll do. But this board, CPRA board, and the staff, and y'all dedicated funding source represents my lifelong legacy. You know, and basically I'm gonna tell you how I came to know King Milling. In 1995, I wrote a letter to Governor Mike Foster, Governor-elect Mike Foster. He wanted to know from all the incoming legislators, what's the top issue facing the state of Louisiana? So I wrote hurricane protection and coastal restoration. So Governor Foster calls me right in November of '05 and says, Reggie, I have 144 letters on my desk, and only one person answered hurricane protection and coastal restoration. So you are going to be my floor leader on coastal activities. I said, well, thank you very much, Governor. So that's kind of how a young fat boy from Pointe-au-Chien, very shy, got to be the leader of this. Then he tells me, he says, I'm going to introduce you to this banker who's also a lawyer in New Orleans by the name of King Milling. And together, y'all going to start to move these policies forward. So that's when we met King. The first meeting of the advisory board was in Houma at the Whitney, I think it was the first national back then. Fast forward 10 years, Hurricane Katrina and Rita. Worst disaster in the history of this state, maybe of this country. And then Scott Angel and I began discussing the concept of consolidation and integration of coastal protection and restoration under one executive level branch. So then Governor Blanco called 4 of us to her office. She called DNR Secretary Scott Angel, DOTD Secretary Johnny Bradbury, and I. We went to her office, but she told her 2 secretaries, I need 5 minutes alone with Reggie, with Senator Dupre before we get into the meat and potatoes of this issue. So she said something to me that day that I've never repeated, but I think I want to let you know what kind of dedicated person Governor Kathleen Blanco was. She tells me, she said, Reggie, you know that this hurricane was the worst we've ever seen. We've lost over 1,500 lives. And if y'all remember, she was getting beat up in the national media terribly, in state media. She says, I might not survive this politically. I may be a one-term governor. However, she said, we need to do what's best for the people. Then she says, I want you to handle this concept on these coastal bills. And then I also told her about the idea of dedicating offshore oil and gas revenues and putting it in the Constitution. She said, well, we're going into special session in November of '05, and we're going to put both of those issues on the call of the special session. So those are my 2, I think, most important legislative achievements, and y'all will live on and for generations to come on one of the best plans and programs, I think, in the United States of America. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Reggie, for everything you've done. And it's been an honor and a pleasure for myself to serve with you. We were both chairmen of Natural Resources and Environment. You on the Senate, me on the House. Also, the CPRA board in its original. And I see Senator Norby Jabert, who served with both of us back here, and of course Jerome Zarang, who took my place after I became parish president of Terrebonne.
When we come back, the parish president, Jason Bergeron, well, he talks to those that gathered for the meeting. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Welcome back as we continue to cover the CPRA meeting in Terrebonne Parish. It took place, and one of those addressing the audience was the parish president, Mr. Jason Bergeron.
Couldn't think of a more deserving individual, and it's doubly enjoyable to see King here. Again, the person that this award is named after. Thank you so much, and the work that you've done to get us where we are. And his lovely wife saying, good to see you both here. But Reggie, you know, you and I go way back, like Gordy and Tony and all of us who have been working on this for so long. And we talk about how this region wouldn't be as far advanced in terms of this project. But quite frankly, and you mentioned that the state wouldn't be where it is because of the impact that you had in dedicating coastal dollars and pushing the effort of coastal restoration and protection, not just for this region, but for the state. And we will always be internally grateful for your efforts. This legacy that you've established in terms of flood protection is an example, not only for us, but for the state and for the nation.
Mr. Bourgeois.
Well, Reggie, this is certainly well-deserved, and I can't think of anybody who's more deserving of it. I just want to thank you publicly here. I've thanked you a lot all along the years because you've meant so much to me and so much guidance to me and things when I first started doing this. I think the thing that strikes me the most about Reggie that you guys may not recognize is how creative he is with certain aspects of things, and how many conversations have started with the phrase, what if we did this? And until someone said no, at which point he would have just said, okay, that's an interesting opening position. So now we'll move on past no into something else. So I just wanted to point that out, that all of this work that you've observed him doing comes from that creativity and thinking outside the box, and something that I've tried to emulate, but I'm not the master. But now that due to your retirement, I'm the old guy in the Levee District Club now, so thanks for that.
I'll go ahead and make a comment. You know, made some pretty fair decisions with Marganza going back, and made some really good ones. And, you know, when years ago when I talked to you and you were still in the Senate, 2 years left on your term, and was able to convince you to come take a job as executive director of Terrebonne Levee and Conservation, was one of my really good moves. And you meant a lot to this parish, you meant a lot to this state, second what Z says. You know, you've changed some laws, you've had some great bills take place in the legislature, and you've done some really unbelievable things with the levee board. And, you know, we made some great things happen, and plenty more to happen, but it's time for you to go enjoy life. You know, Yvonne has served her time too, and you guys go have a good time, and we'll call you back to tell us what to do every now and then. And congratulations, and thank you, King.
And you know, with that, you know, Reggie, you know, and Tony, we built 75, 80 miles of levees with permits and mitigation. I'm looking at the core when I say that. And I think only one cease and desist, huh, Reggie? Well, we had just one cease and desist. No comment. But it was forgiven, I believe. So, and with that, motion, any other board members? Any other members? Okay, yes, sir.
Very well deserved, Reggie. I just want to highlight, you know, a lot of people talk about some of the things that you've done in the past to get this program to where it is, but I want to personally thank you. As a young congressional staffer, when I first got involved in this stuff, I was told that I needed to make the trip down to Houma and talk with you and get a little bit of history of everything that's going on. And I think about 4 hours later, I found myself driving back to New Orleans with my head spinning and a ton of questions, but From that moment on, you've never hesitated to answer the phone, talk through some ideas with me, and not only have you gotten this program to where it is today, but you've inspired myself and many other younger folks getting involved in this to be a little bit more proactive and look forward into the future. So, I personally want to thank you on behalf of my generation, and really want to, highlight the fact that you've played a pivotal role not only here in the state, but at the federal level of advancing our mission as well. So thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here and what I consider the epicenter of the place that needs coastal protection and restoration. Congrats to Reggie. It's interesting to see somebody that's going out of his career and myself coming into my career, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. But I really thank all your service and everybody in here that serves this board, everybody that served the Terrebonne Parish to give us the protection that we need. And so, when I look at the work that's been done in this recent water event, we have a lot of work to do. It really shows how vulnerable we are, and that as much hard work and effort and money and things that we put into the systems that are in place, that we still got some work to do and some projects to finish that gives us the ultimate level of protection. And then we also need to build back our coast. And so, again, I thank you all for being here in the good earth. I thank Gordy and Tony for the work you've done with the levee district and getting the levees where they are so that we can protect our residents and allow me to work on things like quality of life and some other projects that we need to do in our parish. So again, thank you all for being here. And if you get a little time down the hall, we have an esports camp going on, which is taking our younger generation and giving them skills and tools to be prepared to lead in the future. So if you have a chance, go check that out. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bergeron.
All right, there you have it. More to come on the CPRA meeting, but that does it for this show. We'll catch you on another show. I'm Martin Falls. Have a good night.
Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.